Hello, everyone. Welcome to Courtside. I'm Blair Cartwright along with Tom Collen. And 3 games since our last show. Tough loss at Florida, but 2 big wins for the Razorbacks after that. Big home win over number 10 Kentucky, and then a win on the road at Mississippi State. And boy, your team's really playing well right now.
Yeah, a lot of things to discuss too. I didn't realize it had been 3 games, but at this time of the year, they just roll. You go Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, and it's going to be this way for the rest of the year. So I think we're off to a good start. We certainly were disappointed in our first SEC loss at Florida, but they're really a great team. I think they're going to finish in the upper half of the standings this year. Came out a little bit flat. It was a good learning experience for us. But the most important thing was we rebounded. We played well in the second half, so we didn't keep our chins down. And then we rebounded and came back and played against Kentucky, got a win, and then went on the road to Mississippi State and got a win. So pretty excited to be off to a 2-1 start.
One thing we do want to know, Ashley Daniels injured in the game at Mississippi State. She's okay. She was able to travel back with the team. Just kind of where's she at right now?
She's okay. She she went into the game. She lost a filling in one of her teeth the night before, and so she went into the game with a headache. And so she was struggling a little bit in the first half. She had really bounced back and had started to play well in the second half. And then she collided heads with Sarah Watkins, and obviously Sarah's head was harder than Ashley Daniels' head. So, she went down with a concussion. It was a very scary moment. I know everybody told me the way that it showed on TV was that she was pretty much laying there motionless with her eyes closed, and so the fear was that she was completely unconscious or paralyzed or something like that. So, she never really completely passed out. I think she just really had kept her eyes closed on their instruction. She could always move just a little bit. But I think they just wanted to guard her safely, and Mississippi State people did a great job with her. Jeremy, our trainer, did a great job with her. I think we got her to the hospital. They did brain scans. I'm making this into a long story, I guess, but she's fine. She had a pretty mild concussion. She's getting her filling replaced today. Pretty good possibility. She's probably going to be out probably for the rest of the week with concussion. You just don't want to mess with something like this. Obviously, the player's well-being is more important than a basketball game at this point.
Understandable. Well, let's take a look at our 3 keys for this past week. First off, Sarah Watkins, SEC Player of the Week, and why not? 14 points, 9 boards against Kentucky, 21 points, 6 boards against Mississippi State.
Well, we've been waiting for a long time for her to get a little bit of recognition. She went through her freshman season, was up and down. We've talked about her before, and she's really starting to become a consistent play for us. She's just starting to gain a lot of confidence, and she was fine. She was one of the consistent players really against Florida, and then had 2 outstanding games against Kentucky, and really was our MVP of the Mississippi State game throughout. So we're just really happy that the SEC office has finally recognized her. That gives her a little bit of attention. I think everybody thought that she probably was good, but now everybody knows.
Yeah, she's playing really well. Our second key, also playing well, Lindsey Harris, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists against Kentucky. 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists against Mississippi State. She's just really been steady.
Well, and it's really hard for me. So far, Sierra Ricketts has won the SEC Player of the Week award twice. Sarah Watkins has now won it. That's a lot, 3 already in one season. And it's painful for me to almost announce those, because every time I do, I'm kind of looking at Lindsey Harris and I'm thinking, when is this child going to get her due? Because she's probably been our most consistent player throughout the year, and things are going to come her way. There's no question. She handles the ball. She shoots it well for us. She plays through pain. She plays through tough game situations, and right now she may be our team MVP instead of those other 2. But it's certainly nice to have her, Sarah, and Sierra all playing well. When you get 3 kids on the floor playing as well as what they have, that's when your team starts to play well.
And our third key, who else? Sierra Ricketts, 19 points, 6 assists against Kentucky, 10, 4, and 3 at Mississippi State. She's starting to heat up. Conference play is here.
Well, scoring is up and down for her, a lot, but the thing is, she's just such a threat. She sets other players up. She sets Lindsey up for the 3. She gets the ball into Sarah Watkins. She guards the ball hard, gets a lot of steals. She just does a lot of things for us. I think if you ask any coach in the country, or especially in our conference, it all starts with Sierra Ricketts, and it may end with somebody else, but it all starts with her. And right now, she's been very, very consistent for us this year.
Before we look at the top 25, Razorbacks ranked 20th this week, highest ranking so far this year. Your thoughts on being number 20?
Well, it's a great feeling. When you look at the standings and you look at the other teams that are ranked, and some of them are still above you with 3 or 4 losses, and I think some of them are justifiable, but we got in the polls and then we actually dropped out of one poll. and that was a little frustrating after one loss because I thought Florida was a pretty good basketball team. But it's nice to be back in the polls again. Once again, I think it's an indication that people around the country are starting to respect our program. That the win over Oklahoma was not a fluke. We come back and beat a top 10 team in Kentucky, and now it's nice to have. But in some ways, you kind of ignore the polls because they're not really significant. They're not important. What's really important is the next game for us.
Understandable. We need to take a time out. As we do, take a look at this week's AP Top 25.
Kids can now be a part of the Razorback experience by joining the Junior Razorbacks Club. All Junior Razorbacks will receive a t-shirt, membership card, quarterly newsletter, discounts at Hog Heaven, tickets to select Razorback events, special post-game activities, and much more. The membership cost is just $40 and $25 for each additional child. Membership forms are available online at ArkansasRazorbacks.com. Join today.
You've got mail.
This week's question comes from Crystal and Paragould. How do you keep the team grounded amid all their success this season?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know whether we do anything specific. We've talked from day one about what we thought we could accomplish and how hard it was going to be and what we were going to have to do to get there. And we've really tried to play one game at a time. We've told them every day there's not a team on their schedule that they can't beat. There's not a team on their schedule that they can't lose to. And so far, they've handled that pretty well. They've obviously handled the adversity of one loss. They haven't handled that more, and that could be down the road. We have no designs on thinking that we're going to go undefeated for the rest of the season, even though we're going to try to win every game. But I think the difference with this particular group is we've got a lot of juniors who are pretty good leaders. I think they understand how hard we've had to work to get where we're at. I want them to be confident. I see confidence in their eyes, and I think that's really, really important when you're playing in this league. But I don't see them falling prey to being overconfident. And I think if I'm right, we stay level-headed, I think we'll fare well the rest of the year.
How important is it to have good leadership on a team, especially in the situation you're in right now?
You just can't win without it. I mean, these are the same players we had last year, with the exception of maybe Charity Ford. And the difference in this team is that these two juniors that we've got who were sophomores last year, who we really wanted to lead, but they just really wouldn't take the reins as sophomores, they've taken the reins now. And I think you see the results on the court. When things aren't going perfectly well, when you get yourself into a tight game, these kids step up, they grab the ball, they want the ball, they go to the free throw line, they take the important shots, and that's all part of leadership as well. So you just can't win championships. You're not going to be an NCAA team if you don't have good leadership.
Thanks for the question, Crystal.
Submit your question on the Courtside page under women's basketball at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
For over 100 years, Arkansas fans have called the Hogs and filled our past with championships, memories, and pride.
Now, the Hogs are calling on you. We need you to answer the call.
Make no mistake about it, it's our turn.
Are you ready to answer the call?
Answer the call.
Answer the call.
Answer the call.
Let's answer the call.
Welcome back. 2 games coming up for the Razorbacks. First off, Thursday night, Georgia comes to town. 8 o'clock tip. It'll be on CSS television. So check your local listings. What do we know about the Bulldogs?
Well, they're pretty good. I think they've been in 17 consecutive NCAA tournaments. So that tells you everything you need to know. And honestly, when we haven't seen everybody in the league yet, actually at this point in time, though, we've seen a lot of the teams on video because they're playing against other teams. And I can tell you, other than Tennessee, I really feel like Georgia is, without question, maybe the second best team in the league, certainly the second most talented team in the league. So we've got our hands full with them. Excellent coaching, excellent talent. They got a nice rotation, about 7 or 8 kids, play with a lot of poise, play great defense. It's going to be a challenge. I know everybody gets excited when Tennessee comes to town, or maybe LSU, who's been to the Final 4 or 5 times, but we need people to get excited for this Georgia game because it might be the best basketball team they see in our arena this year.
Always fun when Andy Landers comes to town. And then on Sunday, back on the road, go to Tuscaloosa and take on a very young Alabama team at 2 o'clock.
Well, an Alabama team, that we've had some success against, but handed us a really disappointing loss last year in our Pink Zone game, our biggest crowd of the year. Really put a damper on our season. So regardless of what happens against Georgia, I think our kids are going to get up to play against Alabama. I think they realize every game in this league is really, really crucial. And when you have an opportunity to go on the road and win, like we did at Mississippi State, if that presents itself at Alabama, then we need to take advantage of that.
Well, Coach, best of luck and get 2 more W's.
All right, sounds good.
All right, for Tom Collen, I'm Blair Cartwright. We'll see you next time on Courtside.